YouTube friends, my name's Jackie and welcome everyone to Gone Potty Gardening. Today I'm going to be doing a lot of seed sowing in the polytunnel. It's a bit showery outside, so it's a perfect day for that, and I absolutely love getting started with the seeds. Like I said in the last video, sometimes I think it's near on impossible to go to a garden centre and come back with nothing. So I bought a few things from the garden centre, so I'll show you them first before we get started with the seed sowing. So I ended up picking up some cauliflower from the garden centre. Now I've already got my own growing, but I can get these in now and cover them with fleece outside. And these are cabbages, so I'll be able to do the same with those as well. I've got some loads of spinach, look. And again, I'll be growing my own, but that'll just get us started out in the veggie pods. So these are the other bits. This one is, what is it, a gooseberry. I haven't got any gooseberries in the garden. Another one is a tayberry. I think that's a cross between a raspberry and I can't remember the other thing. Anyway, it's a cross between two types of berries. But yeah, tayberry. And this one is a fig tree called brown turkey. Now these grow enormous, but what I want to do is try and fan it against the back wall. And I've got a great big old water tub that was in the loft that I could fill with compost and grow it in the tub. That way you can restrict its growth and still get good fruit. And there's two more little bushes down there. They're just red currant bushes. Now I've got some, so that's just an addition to what we've already got. Now this year for me, I definitely wanted more fruit in the garden. So these are the blueberry bushes. We had these last year, so oh yeah, there's a couple on the end there as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that should be plenty. And I've also noticed just out in the garden as well, look, there's some rhubarb coming up. So yeah, there's nothing better, is there, than going out in your garden and getting your own fruit and veg. And also today I've got to bring in some compost. We got 15 bags delivered. Now usually I would have had my own compost, but I made that great big long bed, you know, the one I showed you with the raspberry canes, and that took all of our compost. So yeah, we obviously that'll be recycled, so hopefully next year I won't have to buy any. So, but that's on a pallet in front of the gates and can't get the car out, so I'm going to have to do that today. And I'll probably bring a lot of that into the polytunnel because I'll be using that compost to plant the potatoes and do some sowing. So yeah, I need to do that. I'll also show you some seeds that I picked up. Now the writing's not going to be the right way around when I show you, but this first one is a pickling onion, Paris silver skin. So now that can be sown direct outside in previous soil that has had manure in. So I might hang on to them for a little bit until the last frost is gone. So I won't be sowing them yet. Now I've got some turnip. I've not had a go at that yet, so that's a new one for me, turnip. And what I'm going to do actually, some of the sowings that I did last year, the tops got eaten off, so I'm going to actually put a little bit of netting over the top when they do come through, because it must be something that's eating the tops off of them, a little insect. This I love. It's called Rainbow Mix Beetroot. I love beetroot, so yeah, that'll be one I'll be sowing today. This Swede Invitation it's called, and it says it's excellent resistance to clubroot disease, so that'll be them. Now I haven't got loads of beds to sow, although I've got a few beds out there. They were assigned like 3 beds are for the carrots, so I haven't got loads of beds to plant loads of things in, but I shall be probably mixing them in the beds where there's space. Yeah. And outside the polytunnel here, there's a bank which is all covered in grass at the moment, but when it's a nice day next, I'm gonna get my like pickaxey thing, get all the turf up and ruffle all the soil, and I think I'm going to plant the sweetcorn there because it's a nice sunny spot, and yeah, I think it'd be perfect there. It's a nice space as well. And that sweetcorn's F1 Swift. Yeah, so that says April, but I'm going to start it now. So yeah, there's sweetcorn as well. So there'll be the things that I'll be sowing today. Now yesterday I went to a car boot, and I love a car boot, but I picked up these, what I thought were fantastic. Now I think they must be old catering tins, really big ones, but they're ideal for the tomatoes. Yesterday I potted on all the tomatoes that I showed you in the last video. I'll show you the trays, they're great. When you're out and about, always look for things that you can use as garden things, you know, recycle, upcycle, whatever. You quite often find that they're really cheap and they're perfect for what you want, rather than going out and buying that specific thing for gardening. So these are the tins that I picked up. They're great. They never rust or anything like that. And I'll be able to put the water actually in the tray so they can water themselves. I always think they do better like that. Yes, I've got 3 of those. Those were only €6 for the 3, and it's amazing buy. Yeah, so always think of different ways that you can utilise things to use. So I'm going to start off now with this beetroot. Now with the beetroot seeds, you probably already know that in one seed you can get more than one seedling when it germinates. So I'm not going to sow too many. You can direct sow these as well, but I'm going to start mine off indoors. Yeah, I've never grown these multi-coloured ones, and there are some darker seeds as well, look. And what I use is these cups. I use them year after year. These plastic cups, and I've drilled a hole in the bottom of them, and every year I use the same ones. So what I'm going to do, I'll probably in each little container, cup, I'll probably plant 3 of these beetroot seeds, and then later on in the year I'll direct sow them when the weather's nice outside. But I do love a beetroot, I must admit. So I'll just do 6 cups of those, I think. 3 in each. Now this compost is quite wet, so I probably won't water it for a bit until it's dried out a bit. So they're my beetroot. So we're away. I've planted the first lot of seeds today. What I'm using for a pen, I've tried several pens and they all rub off and everything, but I find this really good. It's a permanent laundry pen. So yeah, brilliant that is. So yeah, I'm gonna get on and plant some more. That was the dog. So the next one is turnip, and this one you can sow outside when it's warmer, but like I say, I'm going to do a few inside, and then, you know, I can always sow a few outside as well. Then this can do with some lime as well, and if you sow it every couple of weeks, you'll have an ongoing supply of turnips, and you can use the tops for salads. So in this little bit, I've got this variety is called Purple Top Milan, which is quite a common one. I'll show you the seeds. There you are. They're like a copper colour and dark black. So again, I'm just going to sow probably about four in each one. 4's plenty. Well, actually a couple more fell in that one, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the idea is just to put a few in each and then pick out the better ones. I love days like this, nice and peaceful. You can hear the rain on the polytunnel. But it's getting a bit cold though. I can feel the difference in temperature. We've got this cold snap, hopefully only for a few days. So I'm just going to do the labels for that. And that is Turnip, Purple Top Milan. So I've managed to fit them just about. I mean, that's as tight as it gets, but in there on top of a warm heat mat and light. And like I say, when they actually come through and they've germinated, I will always cover them in the polytunnel until we get a lot warmer weather. So if seed sowing is new for you, gardening is new for you, you know, it is quite easy, and you learn as you go, obviously. And a good tip as well is if you're starting off with seedlings in the polytunnel, always check underneath the containers, because you do get slugs find their way in, and it's so disappointing when you've got these lovely young plants and they just get eaten in one fell swoop. One of my rituals that I always do when I'm sowing seeds in March is every evening when I go to lock the chickens up, I always come into the polytunnel and cover them all with clear plastic to keep any heat in and to keep the frost and cold weather out, because yeah, they are very susceptible to just, well, for you just to lose them really. Right, I'm going to get a bigger lot of cell planters to plant these sweet corn, and I usually have to transplant these again into a bigger container after this first sowing before they go outside, because they do grow quite quickly, although maybe not right now because we haven't got the heat at the moment, but I want to get them started. And that will also make me prepare that bit of land at the side of the polytunnel that's grass, get rid of it and make an area just for the corn. Now I've got quite a few of these bowls really, aren't they? But anyway, I picked these up in like a cheaper shop a couple of years ago, and they were very reasonable, and I find them invaluable in the garden, because if I put my soil into these cups and stand them in here, it saves a lot of draft because they're lower down in the container. Plus also I can water from inside, and I can easily cover the top, and I can move them around the polytunnel easily enough, and outside when I want to plant them. So that's what I love about these, and I've probably got about 12 of these. So what I'm going to do is fill a lot of these cups up and fill this ready to plant the sweet corn.
Help me out, my long lost friend. Tell me all that could have been. And if I start to lose myself, a secret I can never tell.
So I've sown another tray of the small golden bantams, and I've got these 2 packs left to sow. But before I do that, I need to get a move on and get that compost moved out of the drive, because it's in the way of the car and we need to use the car tomorrow. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll catch you in the next video. We'll do some more sowing, and we'll get the potatoes sown as well in the sacks. Anyway, you take care everyone. Have a lovely week. Bye. Why not come and join me on Facebook or Instagram? The link is in the description.